They called your endurance holy, made a virtue of your pain. Every time you kept on standing, they found one more reason to praise. They admired how long you carried what would break another man. But no one asked if you kept walking, because stopping was never possible. What they called unfailing strength may have been survival in disguise. You endured because no doorway opened into another life. They saw that you remained. They never asked what staying cost. They counted every year you conquered, not the parts of you those years had lost. They praise you for enduring, never asking what endurance cost. You survived because no door stood open, not because you never felt the loss. You were not untouched by loneliness, but born without desire. You learned to live inside confinement, because there was nowhere else to go. Jesus, I will not call captivity the glory of your life. I see the man who kept surviving when he was never offered another way. A prisoner may keep breathing when the walls refuse to move. He may learn the shape of silence and live without what he needs. He may wake and do his duty, speak with courage, carry on, while every private part within him forgets the feeling of belonging. That was not contentment, Jesus. It was a life reduced to function, always needed, always giving, never free to ask for more. You endured because you had to. You survived what would not end. But survival is not evidence that suffering became your friend. I will honor how you carried it without pretending you were whole. Your strength preserved your life, but it never made confinement home. I will not turn your deprivation into a lesson others preach. I will not call those years beautiful, because you bore them faithfully. Strength is not the lack of longing. Courage is not needing less. Sometimes endurance is simply what remains when there is no choice. So I will not stand outside your pain and praise how much you bore. I will sit beside the man who should have been offered something more. They praise you for enduring. I wanna know what endurance cost. I wanna hear about the years you were not free to name your loss. You no longer have to prove your strength by living without what you desire. No one should be praised for surviving what love should never have required. Jesus, there is life beyond endurance, room to want and room to choose. You carried what you had to carry. Now you are free to ask what kind of life belongs to you. I do not honor you by calling suffering beautiful. I honor the man who kept his heart alive when life gave him nowhere else. because you had to. But Jesus, you do not have to live that way anymore.